What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Aaron here. It is Monday the 2nd of June, and guess what we're talking about today? That's right, guys, we're talking all things DeFi and AI agents once again on the channel, guys. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. Wow, what a crazy weekend it was on crypto Twitter with the whole launch of Laudio taking so much mindshare, guys. I've never seen so much mindshare being given to one project on crypto Twitter. And guys, look, that launched on Saturday. We're going to talk about that later. How did the launch go? Was it a success? What learnings can be taken from the Laudio launch going forwards? We'll talk about that a little bit later on, guys, into the show. But for now, let's get into the markets. What is going on in our favorite categories, AI agents and DeFi, guys? What do we see here? Well, what we actually do see is some interesting movements, okay? So, like, for example, we actually see AI16Z finally up 12.5% on the daily, guys. Double-digit growth here today. Obviously, it's been having a pretty rough time, to be honest with you, especially compared to Virtual's protocol, but does seem to be up today. Going further down the page, guys, we've also got Cookie DAO here up 17.3%. I must say that their new Cookie Snaps platform is seriously impressive stuff. They've done a great job over at Cookie DAO. You know, the fact that now that any project can have its own board, its own mindshare board, identifying the top 25 KOLs for each project is massive. You know, like if a project wanted to do that before, you'd have to pay Kaito like 100 grand minimum, sometimes more, just for that. And Cookie DAO are now obviously talking more and more about this narrative, decentralized InfoFi, that they've firmly stuck their Cookie DAO flag inside, and it's opened up a whole range of data for everybody, almost open source, you know, InfoFi now, which obviously has affected Kaito's business model, I'm sure. But yeah, it looks great, guys. You know, congratulations to Cookie DAO on the launch. They've been doing a great job. And look, 17.3% up today. So yeah, good job, Cookie DAO there. Going further down the page, guys, in AI agents today, what else is going on? We also have humans.ai here up 12.3% as well, but yeah, they've been on a bit of a downtrend for quite some time now, as you can see there on the chart, but still 12.3% up today, something to be positive about. We also have Aava here. Obviously, Aava, the main ticker behind HoloWorld project, up nearly 10% today, still down 26% this week, but still Aava has a lot cooking, guys, especially in June. In their recent blog post, they mentioned that they've got Holo launch coming. They've also got this kind of 2D, 3D, you know, basically visual platform that will allow you to create your own 3D models and AI agents, and that apparently is going really well. And they also mentioned that they've got deals in place with, I think it was a beauty brand, cosmetic beauty brand in New York, that's actually giving them millions of revenue right now. So they seem to be doing pretty well in the meantime, shipping hard. Obviously, some of the Aava team was also behind Laudio, don't forget. So very, very active, very active, and up 10% today. Good to see. Do not forget, guys, on Aava right now, on their on their staking platform on Aava, they're actually right now, for Aava stakers, are earning Mirai as we speak. The Mirai token, Mirai being obviously the virtual human project as a collaboration between a Japanese virtual human studio and the HoloWorld team itself. So that is happening right now, guys. You're able to claim that if you stake your Aava, and there was also a 4% airdrop done to Aava stakers as well of the Mirai project. All right, going further down, guys, we've also got 4.6% green today for Vader, now at a $35 million market cap. Not doing too bad. What else do we have here? Anything major to point out? Well, Solace, of course, launched a huge fanfare. Went up to a $60 million market cap, which is quite unbelievable, guys. I think the Virtuals ecosystem and the Virtuals community is massively over-egging the fact they won a hackathon. I know developers that have won hundreds of hackathons and still none of their projects were successful. So take it with a pinch of salt, guys. But still, you know, why not? If we're, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of holders to Solace watching the channel, and in which case, great. Good to see, like 27.7% up today. Can't complain. It's at a $17 million market cap. Still more than the likes of Axelrod and various other AI agent projects that launched on Virtuals. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. We've also got this VV coin here that's massively outperforming, like 94.8% up today. I did check out their project. It's like a digital fashion project where you can basically, you know, clone your fashion items and put it basically into like a metaverse product. It felt like a bit like a 2021 meta to me, to be honest, but you know, that's one way to do marketing. Burj Khalifa chart there, crazy stuff. But yeah, so you know, GG if you're holding VV. Giza as well, 36% today, doing very, very well since its launch here. Now it's starting to, it consolidated after its launch, and now we're starting to see a clean rise. Of course, I've covered Giza a couple of times last week in the in the videos, and now you can see 36% today, 31.2% up this week now at $11.8 million market cap. And that's obviously fantastic to see. We also have Axelrod here, which has finally made its way to CoinGecko. I don't know what took you so long, Axel. 12% up today, and sitting around $14 million market cap. Obviously, there's a lot riding on Axelrod. It's like seen as the native, I would say, the native agent launching on ACP, Agent Commerce Protocol. And of course, here we have Arbus, which of course has its launch of its InfoFi product as well, happening this week, guys. I believe it's in around 3 days' time. I think it's the 5th of June. I mentioned it on Friday. Unsurprisingly, the price is going up, guys, because you're going to need to stake Arbus in order to use the product. Now, just a quick one, you know, Arbus, $10 million market cap. Let's look at Cookie DAO. What's the market cap of Cookie DAO? 129 million, and Kaito is more than that. So it's going to be interesting to see the quality of our bus versus the likes of Kaito and Cookie, because just looking at the market cap, it's obviously massively undervalued, and there could be value there in the Arbus token depending on the quality of its product, which we may talk about later on in the video. All right, guys, let's go over to DeFi and see what's going on here. We have AIXBT here up 3.8% today, but don't forget, for only $200 a month, you can actually now have access to the terminal, which is awesome. You know, having been locked out for so long, needing 140 grand or so, they finally allowed it to be used by the masses. Are you using it, Anon? Let me know. Put in the comments below. Tell me if you've been using the new AIXBT terminal that's allowing you access for only $200 a month, and tell me what are you using it for. I'd love to hear from you guys. Hey, Anon itself also similar up today, 3.2%, but still down 30% this week. I have installed the HUD, the new HUD HUD heads up display from Anon. I was messing around with it over the weekend, guys, and it was seriously cool stuff. Just seeing exactly when KOLs are getting in, exactly when devs are selling, being able to press a button and get a strategy of how I could trade this chart. It's pretty epic, guys, and I would like to do a video, or at least a massive integration to a video just with the heads up display so you guys can see the power of it. And we will be waiting. I'm going to let you go. If any of you guys want access to Hey Anon's HUD display, heads up display, then drop a comment below and I will tell you what the code is to use it. You need a secret code once you've installed the Chrome extension, okay? And I will tell you it if you drop a comment below and ask me for it. There's a lot of FUD surrounding Graphane at the moment because they haven't tweeted since April the 25th, and it's now the 2nd of June. That's a little bit weird. Like, what happened to the intern? Like, has he been kidnapped or something? I mean, a lot of crypto people have been kidnapped recently, so like, has someone kidnapped the Graphane intern or what? Like, what's happened? Yeah, it's a little bit concerning, but don't forget, like, Anatoly did shill the project on his own timeline. Anatoly, obviously one of the co-founders of Solana, and you'd think you'd do his DD in the project before shilling a project like Graphane. So it's a bit puzzling, guys. Again, if you have any information on what's going on with Graphane, drop it in the comments below. Let's talk about it.
Who do you think we are?
Going further down here, we also have Basis, their bios from Virtuals as well, one of the most hottest projects in the ecosystem. Its FDV is growing. I think it was over $4 million or so last week. As you can see here, the price continues to rise, 42.2% up this week and 13.3% up today. If you're holding bios, happy days. Looks like a solid investment. All right, guys, just going further down here. Also, Velvet Unicorn by Virtuals, 25% up today. A lot of the KOLs in the Virtuals ecosystem are using Velvet to trade. Remember, you don't need to use the Virtuals front end to trade and accumulate and stack points for the daily active bonus. You can use the likes of Velvet and it still counts. And yeah, apparently they have a pretty sweet platform for trading Virtuals tokens, so do go ahead and check that out. Gloria AI as well, 16.7% up today, 55.7% this week. Another Virtuals Genesis launch doing well, which is fantastic to see. Okay, look, that's all we've got time for at the moment for the market analysis. Let's head over into the news. All right, guys, first up, we're talking about Laudio. Okay, now we covered Laudio extensively last week. It's basically this social experiment which was powered by Kaito AI and one of the co-founders of HoloWorld, where they actually were trying to monetize, mindshare, utilizing the top 25 creators, which will get 72% of all fees generated by Laudio. It's a new model. And as you saw from my previous video on Friday, I explained it in a bit more detail. So let's talk about how it actually played out. So the TGE was Saturday just gone. Basically, what happened was those that got an allocation that say 0.2 SOL, actually, even if they sold now on the current market cap, would have made $2,500. Okay, guys. So if we actually check out here, the current market cap is like 10.7 million. It's actually holding this line really well. People have turned $33 to $2,500. It's a huge, multiplier. Now, of course, there's some people, especially, in tier 1 countries, let's say, that are not very happy with the gain because that's not enough for them. Obviously, $2,500 doesn't go so far in New York or London, but in Malaysia would go quite far, or in Indonesia or wherever. Yeah, there's been a little bit of a crying from some KOLs. They didn't make enough money, but still, for those smaller creators, they did very well from this. So that don't usually get paid those big bucks. They did very well from this. And to be fair, it is holding a 10.6 million market cap very, very well. I mean, look at how steady it is. It was an interesting ride. I mean, no one knew exactly how far this was going to go. If we look at the top here, it actually topped out at $32.86 million. And actually, I've just thought now, there was a great tweet by Daniele who actually showed us exactly where the KOL sold. That was really interesting, actually. But before we get into that, actually, let's get into that now. So there was a great tweet. Now, remember we talked about the heads-up display by Hey Anon? So this is a great example of how to use and why to use the heads-up display from Hey Anon, because Daniele posted, here we go, the chart with the Hey Anon HUD. So as you can see here, he's integrated the heads-up display, and that's what this is to here. Now, as you can see, the red circles is where the KOLs sold. Okay, green are some of the buys. So you can clearly see that the top wallets have sold the peak, and this is the reason it topped there. A top wallet has been buying on the low. Most KOLs sold their allocations at a $23.2 million market cap on weighted average, which is the dotted red line. So this dotted red line here is when, on average, the KOLs cheated. So to be fair, 23.2 million market cap. I mean, the current market cap's 10 million. So if we just double it also, that would be about a 5K bag for all the KOLs there, just for tweeting Laudio, on their X. Now, of course, for the major top KOLs, that's like nothing. Sometimes they charge more than 5K for one tweet. They would have done 20, 30 tweets to be there. But for the lower creators, that obviously is a big deal, especially for those not in the top tier countries, shall we say. Yeah, there's some more information here as well. This heads up display is amazing, by the way. If you haven't already, go to the Google Chrome web store. Make sure you go through the Hey Anon Twitter account and find it on one of their Twitter posts, and then put in the comment below. I'll give you the private code to use it. So as Daniele says here, KOLs who are still in partially sold at 14 million on average, lacking strong conviction. If we see this line coming down, it's a bad sign. Dotted yellow line. Notable new buyers stepped in at 30 million market cap. So look, that's the heads up display in action. And then we also saw Whale Mocha here, obviously major KOL, and he was saying the amount of volume that it's seen is around $11 million. And as I mentioned earlier, the initial 0.2 Sol pre-sale allocation is now worth $2.5 grand. That's at current market cap, would have been $5 grand when the average KOL sold. So this is the results of the Loud experiment, guys. There was also one other tweet I wanted to bring to your attention. That was from Crypto Kermit. So Crypto Kermit here basically did the maths and basically figured out that your favorite creator just sold you out for $100 a tweet, $160 a tweet.
What about you?
And I'll tell you what, I didn't tweet one Laudio.
What?
At all. Before any of you say, oh, did you do that? I didn't tweet one Laudio at all. I didn't even get involved in that mess, okay?
Makes us horny.
Just about. Some of your other favorite creators did. $160 a tweet. So he basically ran a script to track how many tweets were posted during Laudio's campaign. So some 50,000 plus follower accounts earned between $30 to $60 per tweet, which, by the way, is peanuts. Top 100 creators tweeted about Laudio 31 times on average. So 31 times, and they got around $160 a tweet. Great value for Laudio, really good value. No one else is getting those prices, I can assure you. And basically Kermit's saying that if you dangle the idea of getting rich, most creators will farm their audience for $160 a post. Shots fired there from Crypto Kermit, but it's an interesting piece of data. I would argue that this was kind of like a fun experiment. I mean, I didn't even get involved, guys, okay? But from what I could see, it was quite funny. Like, people were just jumping on the bandwagon. People weren't taking it that seriously. Maybe the smaller guys were. I can see why he's saying this, that they're farming the audience for $160 a post. And I think in some respects it must be true. And in some other respects, probably it's just some KOLs playing around, just seeing what would happen. Obviously not knowing that it would be $160 a post. Now, it would be interesting if we did this again and we knew what this would be. So let's say we knew that they would get $160 a post on average. How many KOLs would then get involved? Silence. So that was the experiment, guys. Let's see what comes up next for Laudio. 0x Ultra, one of the co-founders and also of Hollow World, has said that they're going to push on into the second phase of the project. And if you actually head over to the Laudio website, you can see which KOLs are still in. Okay, because you might think, it's died, and it's definitely gone down. Now people have seen the rewards, but look at the KOLs that's still involved here. We've got Whale Mocha, ICO Beast, and some major names. AIXBT, our favorite AI agent KOL. Legendary Gains, etc. So some big guys that can obviously generate a lot of hype still. And look, they're in the top 25 right now. So, their fee split is 72% off from the mindshare that these guys will be getting. So these guys are all going to be incentivized to push the project. Let me frame this another way. If you knew about a project that was valued at $10 million market cap, forget about what it is, and you knew that all these KOLs were going to push it and promote it, would you buy? Because when you position it like that, you think, actually, yeah, I mean, it's a micro cap, and it's being pushed by some of the top KOLs on X. You guys can make your own mind up there. For me, it was an interesting experiment. I struggle to get behind projects that haven't got good fundamentals. But when it's a pure marketing play like this, and it's a bull market, so long as these guys do push it, I think it can do quite well. If I'm honest with you, I'm not sure. If I was to guess, I think it all depends on the Laudio roadmap. But if these guys are going to push it, then it could do well, guys. And considering that the chart it has now, it does look like. I mean, it is trending downwards. It has just broken down here like a major line. I mean, if it gets further than $8.5 million and it breaks that where it wicked off at the start, then we might be in some trouble. I would be looking maybe to position myself in Loud if it comes down further into this kind of $4 or $5 million range, because the upside then is pretty special. But look, guys, not financial advice. I'm just thinking as I'm doing this video. I'm just giving you my live thoughts as to what's going on here. But in general, that's what happened with Loud. I think that the project can kick on so long as the KOLs behind it continue to push it, in which case it does become quite an interesting investment opportunity from my side. Okay guys, next up we're talking about Dking. Okay, so now Dking sits in the gambling AI agent space, so it sits alongside the likes of Billy Betts, Agent Ted, and a bunch of others. Okay, but Dking came to our attention a couple of months ago. They're very focused on football or soccer if you're listening from the US, and they've been making some really positive movements, guys. They actually have a lot sitting behind the hood, which we covered in a previous video. That was quite exciting. But actually what they've come up with today is a new roadmap. Okay, they come up with a new roadmap. And why do I like this roadmap? Well, I like this roadmap because they basically so confident in their product that they are allowing this, what they're calling transparent benchmarks dashboard. It delivers real-time side-by-side comparisons between Dking's models and the competition, empowering Dking users with clear actionable data to optimize their betting strategies. So if you were ever unsure about whether these gambling agents, how do you know which one's the best one? How do you know, that it's even going to tell you the right thing to gamble on? How is it going to, how can you have trust in it, basically? Well, that's what this benchmarking dashboard's all about, guys. So as you can see, it says here's what's coming. So they're going to have Dking versus LLMs. So you'll see how their models are going to perform against the likes of GPT, Claude, Grok, DeepSeek. Dking versus tipsters, so real life, gambling tipsters. Compare our expected value edge to top tipsters. Model showdown, so the old model versus the new model. Flat betting versus fractional Kelly, and backtest performance. So you'll actually be able to backtest against major sportsbooks, providing complete transparency on its performance. Now, I really like this because there's basically nowhere to hide. Like if Dking's, model was badly performing, or it would be there for everyone to see. Now obviously I don't think it is, because they're so confident enough to basically open up their dashboard like this. So it's also going to include these metrics, as you can see here: win percentage, average odds per type, historical and live data, and growth projections over time. I did see that it said that Tottenham was going to beat Man United. I know that because I'm a Man United fan, so they were right about that. And they were also right about PSG beating Inter Milan. That happened this weekend, guys. If you watched the game, that was a complete wipeout from Paris. Their first Champions League trophy, and 5-0 in the final is a pretty damning for Inter Milan, but hey ho, 5-0, there you go. And Dking called it. So look guys, as a sports fan, I'm going to be checking out what Dking are up to, obviously over the course of the summer. They do have this free Dking terminal access all summer, so why don't you use it yourself? Obviously we've got the Club World Cup, we've got Formula One, we've got various other sports, guys, happening over the summer, but mainly focused on soccer for now, Dking. So yeah, the Club World Cup seems like a no-brainer to kind of check it out for yourself. So yeah, I'm going to check out Dking. Really interested in this benchmarking dashboard. I love to see projects that are not scared to put out their own data, their own models, and basically let you see for yourself the quality of its work. So yeah, GG, good job for the Dking team. All right, guys, that's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for joining me once again for your daily dose of DeFi and AI agents, guys. If you've been enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit the bell notification, like, subscribe, and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Do not forget that we are hosting DeFiCon Istanbul, the largest DeFi and AI agent event happening during Istanbul Blockchain Week, guys. It's going to be mega, June the 26th in the Hilton Bomonti Hotel, and headlined by none other than Daniele Sesta from Anon, guys. It's going to be awesome. We'll drop a link in the description. Do go check it out. But look, guys, that's what we've got time for today. I'll see you again back here tomorrow.